This video is made in collaboration with Arc Black Cat.
So before we start the video, I want to give a huge shout out to Arc Black Cat. They sponsored this video and they provided me with these great sleeves. Obviously for a Wargreymon video this time, so we're going to be rocking the Wargreymon sleeves in the deck. So if you guys are interested in buying these sleeves, feel free to use the coupon code DGOTA for 5% off on checkout. This is applicable for all Digimon products. But Arc Black Cat doesn't only do Digimon, they have a lot of other card games as well. And if you're also interested in comic kit sleeves, you guys can also check out their website. A lot of you guys have been asking where I get my comic kit sleeves, and Arc Black Cat has some of the designs that you're looking for. So yeah, back to the video. What is up guys, Cardog here, and today I'm here with another Digimon card game video. This time around we'll be doing a video about how you can upgrade your start deck 15. If you're a beginner, this video is perfect for you. And I think, you know, people who are just looking at advice on how to improve their start deck, this will be helpful for you too. So let's go right into the video. Let's talk about the actual cards from ST-15 first. So I think out of the whole starter deck, these 5 cards are the main cards that you want to get from the starter deck. So these are most important ones, and I think there's very good reasons why. So Wargreymon, obviously it's the new counter mechanic. If you guys want to play around with counter, this is one of the starting points for you to do that. Is it the best counter card in the pool right now? I don't think so. I think the Metal Greymon is actually stronger, but I think Wargreymon does synergize really well with the deck and what Greymon stuff has in general right now. So this is just nice to have, and you know, there's just a lot of Greymon cards in the card pool right now. You know, Agumon and Greymon are definitely the most supported archetype in the game. So deck building is going to be a lot of fun just because there's so many options for you to have, and there could be like, there's so many combinations of Greymon decks that you can play around with. Obviously there's a few that are especially good, but I think all the Greymons, they have a chance to shine in their own right. So yeah, this line is good. So the reason why the Greymon and Agumon are good is because their Inherit Source skill lets you get memory whenever a target is changed, and this activates on both turns. So either if you raid or if you block, you will still be able to proc them, and you'll be able to get memory back for that. So that's really good. The Greymon is especially good because it has an additional security effect, which lets you play a Agumon or a Taichi if this card is checked in security for free. So this will set you up for next turn, and yeah, it's just really solid, and I think it's a nice addition to have for Greymon players. Another really good card that we have is the new Taichi. So this is a perfect Taichi for players who do not want to use a red base. So whenever a target is changed, you can tap this tamer to get 1 draw, and you can also get plus 2 DP, which is really strong if you want to use it for blocking, but it's also really strong if you want to use it for raiding, in case you're attacking over a really big Digimon. So really strong overall, and I'm really happy that they gave us 4 copies of this per star deck, just so that you can have extras to play in other decks. Because this card is going to be useful in other decks as well. Like Pawn Chessmon will be able to use this. Pretty much any deck that blocks or raids will be able to find this card useful. Next is Advance of Courage. This card is a little bit more niche. You probably will use it in only Greymon decks, just because you can suspend your Digimon, and then until the end of the opponent's turn, one of your Greymons will not be affected by your opponent's Digimon's effects. So yes, it'll help you, give you a little bit of protection in case you want to use your Greymon for the counter effects. Obviously, counter activates after your opponent's when attacking effects proc. So if your opponent has something that can pop you or bounce you, then you can't counter. So this card will help you prevent that. Obviously, if they still use an option card, you're still going to get destroyed. But it's a little bit of protection that you can have for your Greymon. So it's nice to have. So those are the main cards I want to talk about from the start deck. These definitely pick up 2 if you want to build a deck, just because getting 2 will give you a playset of everything. As a reminder, the SRs and the Agumon and I think the Metal Greymon as well, they only come with 2 copies per start deck. So you need 2 if you want to get a playset. Next, if you're a new player, I highly recommend you pick up the Agumon line from BT12. I think this is still the strongest line, the strongest Agumon line that we have in the game so far. It's very versatile. You can splash this in any Greymon deck. So the Agumon lets you search for a Taichi and a Greymon and Omnimon, so pretty solid. The Greymon lets you play a Taichi for free if you don't have a Taichi on the board already. The Metal Greymon lets you play a red or black 4-cost or less tamer for free if you change targets. So this activates when a target is changed or when, on both turns. So when you're blocking or when you're raiding. So it's pretty good for that. And it also combos really well with the current X Antibody engine we have. But you don't have to worry about that if you're not planning to play the X Antibody engine. But we'll talk about that later on as well. And this Wargreymon is also really, really strong, just because you can unsuspend itself whenever a target is changed. So, though this one is going to be mainly your blocker, this will be your main attacker. Though both of these cards can be used both ways. So this can be used as both an attacker and a blocker. This one can also be as an attacker and a blocker, just because this one has blocker, but the other skill that this card has activates whenever a security is trashed. So if you have a security that gets trashed, you can unsuspend it to use it as a blocker. If you're trashing your opponent's security, you can also unsuspend it to attack again. So I think both of these are just really, really good in their own right. And yeah, they're the best Greymons that you can run if you are just building from scratch using the start deck 15. So also Taichi gives one of your Agumon and Greymon blockers, and also gives plus 1k. The 1k isn't too useful for this, but it'll be pretty useful for this one because this doesn't have blocker by itself. So yeah, BT12 line really, really strong. Definitely pick this up if you guys are starting out, and even from a competitive standpoint, this line is still pretty good. Obviously, the Black Wargreymon line is also really good, but you can use these cards in conjunction with your Black Wargreymon stuff. So yeah. All right. Next, over these. Next, the other cards I want to go over is potentially you want to pick up the BT8 Agumon. This is a nice option to have. Definitely not a must. You can run the X Antibody version of this if you want, if you're playing the X Antibody variant. If you're not playing X Antibody version, then this card will be just as good. This lets you search for top 4 cards of your deck, and you can grab a Greymon and a Drawman. So you'll be able to search for Wargreymon and a Greymon. Or if you have if you search for 4 cards and there's 2 Wargreymons you want to pick up, you can pick up both Wargreymons, because you can pick up one of them as your Greymon target and the other one as your Drawman target. So it's pretty good. It's a very, very good searcher, I think. Next is the Agumon X Antibody. So this one is also pretty good. This Agumon works pretty well with the new Agumon. If your opponent has a Digimon on the board, you can push this out during your raising phase so that you can get an extreme memory back, and then you can slap this on top of your Agumon, and then you can get the search as well. So pretty good. If you're playing the X Antibody version of the build, you can also give you a little bit more protection. So yeah, Agumon is a nice card. The main downside for them is if you have to hard cast it, it's 4 cost, so not as good, but still a nice option nonetheless. Next, let's talk about some level 5s that you can run. First is obviously the recently limited Greymon X Antibody. Oh, I think this card was limited in April, so not that recent, I guess. This card is just really good. It speeds up the deck a lot. If you're playing a monocolor deck, don't run this, or it's not as good. But if you're playing a dual color, it's very, very good. It also gives you a little bit of protection, so pretty good for that as well. But you'll get a cost reduction regardless. So if you get a cost reduction for every color it has, so you'll be at least reducing the cost by 1. So it's pretty good. The Greymon X Antibody from BT9 is the other alternative we have. This one only gives you the protection, which is fine because you'll be able to you won't be over reliant on X Antibody. So even if you don't have X Antibody in your source, you can still use the effect as long as you have 2 same level Digimon that you can trash for this card's effect. So it's pretty good for that as well. Next, so previously this Metal Greymon was used in the OTK build. It still works in the new deck, but it's not as deadly just because if you're playing a black base, you might not be running the BT1 Taichi, so you get 1 less check. So it makes the deck a little bit slower, but it's still a good card nonetheless, just because being able to, where is it? Being able to raid, play a Tamer with this, and then if you have X Antibody in source, Digivolve into this, it's just a really, really strong combo, and you get raid, and you get piercing afterwards. So it's just really, really strong. So if you're planning to play the X Antibody Greymons, obviously I think running X Antibody is one of the ways to go. And if you're playing X Antibody, you might as well be playing Cool Boy as well. But if you're planning to play the X Antibody version of the deck, it'll be very, very different from what you would be playing if you're just using majority start deck stuff. But yeah, you can kind of experiment with it. That's one of the main things that are so amazing about this game, is because there's so many Agumon stuff. So you can cook up some funky combos if you want. Another cool thing you can do is, if you have this, you can Digivolve on this, and then you'll get you get 3 security checks from this alone. So it's also pretty good. Obviously, the reason why we didn't talk about him before is because I think on the priority list from the start deck, I think he's one of the lower ones, just because I think all the other new cards are a lot better. But this one is also really good. And if you're playing a Machine Dreadmon deck, this card will also be very nice to have. And last but not least, let's go over some of the options and some of the Tamas and Tamers. So we have Congo. Congo is an amazing card to pick up, especially with the upcoming meta shifting to ace cards. I think this will be very good for that, just because all 7 cost or less Digimon cannot attack a player. So this shuts down a lot of plays, because if you look at the new ace Digimon, look at this Wargreymon, he's 6 costs, so he cannot attack players. So that's really, really good. It shuts down some raid plays, so you know, it's pretty good. So if you're not planning to play a black base, if you just want some of the Greymon stuff and then you're planning to use a red base, pick up Taichi. Taichi is still a really, really solid card, and he, as we kind of mentioned before, he's very important for the OTK combo. So Taichi is very strong. Regarding the Digitamas, this is the last card. These are the last cards we're going to talk about. You can run this just to beef up your Greymons a bit, because having a low DP is a huge problem if you're planning to use them for block. So this is very nice. This is a really good black Digitamas. If you're playing a red base, he is king. Just having draws is just really, really good. So yeah, I still think he's one of the best Digitamas in the game, just because you get access for a Greymon deck, just because you can get those easy draws. So yeah, that pretty much concludes this video. I hope this helps out some new players. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I know it might be a little bit confusing sometimes just because this is my first time doing something like this. So if I miss anything, feel free to leave a comment. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, I already said that. But yeah, this is Kardaku, and if you guys want to support the channel, feel free to use the affiliate links down below. And yeah, thank you for Arc Black Cat for sponsoring this video. But yeah, this is Kardaku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!